unless there is no rule and that things change pretty much on a regular basis. So anyway, the trusses get drawn by a different engineer, and that is the truss company. So it used to be like this, and this is where I was getting at with the rules. The rules are there are no rules because they change like every day. I've been doing this for 20 years, as long as I can remember. And it doesn't necessarily make sense, but as long as I can remember, you could get your house plans approved at the county, and then you could get an inspection and have your truss drawings in hand on site, and they didn't have to be approved yet, but maybe technically they did and they didn't actually implement the policy. But either way, I used to get inspections for the plans that were approved, inspections for the trusses that were the intended trusses to be used and installed, and he could see them. And the rule was, as long as you had those truss drawings into the county and approved by the time you asked for the final inspection, that there were no issues and everything moved smoothly. Time was of the essence. The guy came in and he said, let me see your truss cover sheet. And I said, well, I haven't submitted the trusses yet because I was just gonna do that before final. He goes, nope, game's different now. I have to have those before I can allow you to close in. So I had to scurry down to the office. Wasn't a big deal. Scurry down to the Fairfax County office, get my truss drawings approved, and then call the inspection back in. So I'm back on track today. That's why you hire contractors. They deal with that stuff on a regular basis. They handle it, they figure it out, they get it done, they keep things moving. I didn't miss a day in this process because I coordinated with my inspector to allow me to go ahead and insulate. So I insulated, failed the inspection, got the trusses approved, called the inspection back in when it was supposed to be called in, and I'm back on track with all appropriate documentation, and we are good to go. All right, I'm being honest here. I'm pretty damn excited. We're finally cutting in the gable windows. Let me go over here and show you what I got. All right, so we got some windows we're putting in this gable. Right up there where you see the Tyvek paper made in the USA, we're gonna take and install windows that match that pitch of the inside roof line of the inside of the house. I'll show you in a minute. But in the meantime, I've got these pile of windows here, and I designed these on a computer using a program called SketchUp. And I was actually going to start doing some math, pulling some bad Pythagorean theorem equations and stuff, trying to figure out the dimensions I needed for these windows. But then I thought, what other tool do I have that would be quicker and easier? And I used Google SketchUp. All right, so some huge strides from last week. Last week at this time, yeah, it was last week at this time, we pulled off the entire roof of this house. Well, 2/3 of the roof of this house, and replaced it with cathedral trusses. What I wanted to do was get the roof off, get the roof back on, get the shingles on, and then get this thing insulated and maybe even drywall before I started to do the interior demolition work, because the customer still has an intact kitchen. So I want to keep that in place as long as I can so they can keep cooking and, you know, maintaining life. So yeah, had some inspection items to take care of, but all in all, things are coming together really nicely and it looks great. There's a couple exterior details that I'm going to change, but for the most part, this thing is coming together really, really looking sharp. But anyway, I'll take you around and show you what we've got. So what we're looking at here is the front porch. It's a stone front porch. You've got the 4 posts kind of evenly spaced out. You can see that I have the metal roofing on top of the porch area. Now that little 3 pieces of wood in that gable and above the porch entrance, I'm actually going to take that design and I'm going to move it forward to sit out a little bit more pronounced in that gable. Yeah, it looks really good. So basically we are finished with the windows. Got to seal and caulk around them, not caulk, but seal and foam around the windows, put in some insulation in that corner, and we should be good to go.